Hello, good afternoon, teachers. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Nina ma'am. Good afternoon. I am so sorry. I had a little crisis with my internet. That's why I got a little delayed. I hope I'm audible, Avantika, Nina ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay. So, good afternoon and welcome to yet another session of Foundations, an interesting session where today we plan to talk about imbibing appreciation and gratitude. I was very intrigued when I was discussing with ma'am about this topic today. That, we've always talked about appreciation and gratitude. We've always wanted our children to have. Every mother, every parent, every teacher wants his or her student to develop gratitude and appreciation. However, over the passage of time and as we continue teaching, these two attributes have become very, theoretical. We teach them, we show them through stories, through animations, through a lot of things, but we are not able to actually inculcate these habits in 100% of our students. Only some of them, only some of them are able to imbibe this. So I thought that this was very interesting today that we'll discuss about this topic and we'll get to know more about how to actually get the students to follow them. So for the same, I have Nina ma'am with us today, who's an amazing resource for this kind of a topic. And I am looking forward to this session and I hope all of you, we take back those practical tips which can help our students actually imbibe appreciation and gratitude in their personality, in their attitudes, and in their lives. Thank you so much. With this, over to you, Nina ma'am.
Hi, thank you, Himani. Thank you very much. And good afternoon to everyone who's joined in. And I'll keep saying good afternoon in between for all those who will be joining in as and when. And without taking much time, I will start on straight. So, appreciation and gratitude, right? So, I think it means different things to different people, of course, as per our circumstances, as per experiences. And I have also come across people who say appreciation, gratitude जब कुछ नहीं होता. तो आज हम आपको बताने वाले हैं appreciation and gratitude से बहुत कुछ होता है. So, and I'm going to be focusing primarily because we are all educators here, primarily on how it helps both the teachers, the educators, and the students, right? So, I'm going to start it with the seven wonders of the world. This is a little story because it's always good. You may not remember anything out of this whole presentation, but few things you'll always remember, which are shared as a story. So there was this, like all of us as educators, in one of the class, the students were asked to identify and write down, recognize seven wonders of the world. Of course, these was not early childhood, I mean nursery KG children. They were little older. But the point I'm trying to make here is that how children can think beyond what we teach them. So when we teach them seven wonders of the world, we all know what we teach them. I don't need to specify. So there was this one particular kid, in that class who just wouldn't be able to, she says, I don't know, what should I say? When just seven things, she was not able to decide upon a lot of cajoling and inquiry. Then that child said that the seven wonders of the world to her was to see, to hear, to feel, to taste, to laugh, and to love. Right? So, starting on from this note, that when we talk of appreciation and gratitude, it is nothing but like seven wonders of the world. Right? My slide not moving. Okay. So, I would want now to share with you what does gratitude has to do in today's time. Hamani has already set in the stage saying very clearly that we are focusing so much on knowledge so much on the academic capacity, and we, of course, in the new curriculum, focusing a lot on play. But today I'm going to look at it at how we can embed it and imbibe it and blend it so easily and so effortlessly into the curriculum that we are already doing with children. And I'm here talking of only the early years. So gratitude can actually be the most powerful tool for both teachers and parents. If it is for the teachers, it's very empowering for them because it teaches them how to appreciate the students, grow in their system, and they are able to teach them effectively. Because when you are always in a gratitude mode, we grow in our profession and we enjoy life. So our bonding with our students is at a very different level. Now, when I say at the student level, it improves students' performance, well-being, and children become happy as individuals in the long run, and they start harnessing the benefits of gratitude. Now, I'm just sharing this to place a context, and then we're going to move on to understand what gratitude is, because this is not something that I am saying. We've all experienced it in our lives, and research has very, very clearly validated it that when we are basing our life on appreciation and gratitude, or not something called thank you, because many a time we look at gratitude as just a mere two words as thank you, and that begins with it and it ends with it. How many of you have actually experienced that children come to you and they feel free to say, मैम आज आप बहुत अच्छे लग रहे हो, मैम आज आपने बिंदी बड़ी अच्छी पहनी है, मैम आज आपकी आउटफिट बहुत अच्छी लग रही है, मैम आपके नेल्स बहुत अच्छे लग रहे हैं, आपका बैग बहुत अच्छा है, मैम आप बहुत स्वीट हो. Have you any of you experienced it? Can you just quickly put it on the chat box? Yes, no, not applicable. So what does the chat box say? It says yes, yes, yes. So there are yes all the time, all the time. Very good. Thank you. So the point that I was just trying to make here is that we've all experienced it. It's not that we have not experienced it, but I have to keep admitting my friends. So I am admitting. Okay. So now what is appreciation and what is gratitude? So before we move on, and how we put it in our curriculum and how do we do as teachers. So I'm not looking at, because I always value educators' time and their energy levels, especially when we are working with young children. So the idea is not to overwork. The idea is to very wisely blend things in whatever we do very, very effortlessly. So let's first be on a same page. So when we say appreciation, it's nothing but praise. So what happens when we praise? We praise what we value. So would you praise something that you don't value? Never. We praise what we support, and we also praise that we love. So if somebody is praising, or we are praising something, or somebody else is praising us, that means they value us, they support us, and they love us. So these three elements are very, very important in appreciation. So the simple appreciation actually encompasses so much: love, support, and value. Now, this is something which is actually very, 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 very gradually, but very distinctly eroding in our society. We are giving so much of focus on designing fancy curriculums, ऐसा भी करा दो, इतना करा दो, इतना knowledge बढ़ा दो. But जो बहुत basics है ना, and I look at it that always it is the basics which you remember, which impact your life. You don't remember any of your subject content. What is gratitude? So gratitude is nothing but affirmation of goodness. So when we are being grateful to somebody, we are actually affirming and making that affirmation. I don't know how many of you have studied bits of psychology as educators. We've all done that, and many a time some of people we must have been mentoring us have told us, "Acha, aapko ye problem aa rahi hai na?" So you say these affirmations, continuously. Go on saying it for 21 days, 30 days, and So what is this affirmation? So affirmation is if I'm wanting to say something to Venu, I'm saying I'm very grateful to her because of some goodness in her that I see. So it is the goodness that is very, very important and something that works here. Now, what are the benefits of gratitude? So now this is something which has been validated and proven by research. So we are not just jumping onto appreciation and gratitude. We are educators. First, let's understand it at a very cognitive level. So it improves physical health. It improves sleep, improves psychological health, increase empathy. Now we are not talking of sympathy, we're talking of empathy. How much can I relate with the other person's circumstance and situation? It reduces aggression, something that we are seeing it's so rampant in today's time. I would request each one of you to please put yourself on mute. There are better social connections. You know, our social health gets better when we are constantly imbibing gratitude. And it enhances self-esteem and improves mental strength. There are some two more friends to join. Okay. So, so these are some of the benefits. And now let's look at what it does. You know, we all know that during the first 6 to 8 years, the brain development of the child happens to the tune of 90%. Right? So now what is happening when we are talking of gratitude? Now, what is the relationship between gratitude and the brain development? Now, the first thing is that it wires new neurons into the bliss centers. You know, we all know, I'm not going to get into the details of the brain, but there are different centers in our brain. Right? So when we are any life, children or educators or parents, and I would request all the educators to share some of these learnings with parents as well, that because children are learning very fast from two environments, the home environment and the school environment. So a new connection, new synapses are being formed in the bliss center of the brain. It enhances dopamine and serotonin. Now, these are the things which are needed, you know, the biochemical reaction that happen, the neurotransmitter responsible for happiness. So now the whatever in our biochemical terms in the brain is required for happiness. So these are some of the things that get produced. You know, like we say, when we go jogging, running, we go to the gym, there is an adrenaline rush. So similarly, when we are focusing our life and it becomes a way of life, it becomes an effortlessly just comes to us very naturally. So as educators, we need to role model. It fosters cognitive restructuring by evoking positive thinking. So when children are into this space of a positive thinking, their bliss center is growing, they're more happier, then they are going to be better learners. You know, so you don't have to make so much of effort in and a struggle in teaching them whatever the subject content you're teaching them if you are parallelly imbibing in them the attribute or the quality of being appreciative and grateful. Now, very important, right from the early years, you know, we are all adults. Okay, so we may be from 25 years onwards. I'm nearly 62 today. So fear and anxiety is something that is there in every life. Right? So these feelings, they give us a lot of stress and we are unable to deal with that. We are unable to regulate our fear and anxiety. And this gets started right from our early years. So if we are placing our children in appreciative and gratitude mode, it helps them to reduce their fear and anxiety and it regulates their stress hormones. Okay. Now, what are the other benefits of it? So when we say gratitude, it leads to true happiness. Okay. So people who are continuously appreciative of their environment, of people around them, they tend to be truly happy, not relative happiness, which means if I have this, I'm happy. If I don't have this, I'm not happy. Right? Now, what is it that leads to from gratitude to happiness. So when we are more grateful, we are more optimistic. Okay? We don't look at the passive side of it. It's like, am I seeing the glass is half full or half empty? You know, defines optimism and pessimism. There is an element of selflessness that comes in because you're looking more into the things outside and you become little selfless. You're not so self-absorbed that we are seeing. Most of us say that today's youth is very, very self-absorbed. They're only thinking about themselves because that's what we have given it to them. तुम अच्छा पढ़ो, 95% नंबर लो, अच्छी यूनिवर्सिटी में जाओ, अच्छी जॉब करो, make a life for yourself. So it is all you, and you. Spirituality. Now, when we talk of spirituality, it's not essentially religion. Spirituality here is more of compassion, kindness, calmness, peace, etc. Empathy. Now, we are not looking out for sympathy. Many of us are grown up to gain sympathy. We are educators, we are teachers. That doesn't mean that we haven't, because we've also had our early years now. And how we have lived our early years have defined the person that we have become today. Are we empathetic or are we sympathetic? And our self-esteem. If I'm continuously in an environment which brings my self-esteem down and there is a lot of self-doubt, so what happens? That I don't feel confident. Okay? So as an educator, it is extremely important for us to be confident. Now, another important aspect, because there is an element of inclusivity in our curriculum, there's an element of non-discriminatory environment. How do we ensure that? When there is appreciation and gratitude. So this is just for the benefit of the educators. We don't have to take it to children, but we can, because in today's scenario, our classes have and the schools have children from different cultural and religious backgrounds, right? Just a second. It's so many of people joining every now and then. Just a second. So, religious scriptures, what do these? I'm not going to get into the details. All I'm just trying to say is that whether we talk of Hinduism, where we are actually celebrating all the elements, 5 elements of nature, we even pray to the sun, to the trees, to the moon, festivals are around that. We talk of Christianity. In everything they say, give thanks. We talk of Jewish people or them. Their morning prayer starts with Modeh Modani, which means I thank you. We look at Sikhism, Sukh Vele Shukrana, Dukh Vele Ardas, Har Vele Simran. So similarly in Quran and in Buddhism, let us rise and up and be thankful. So Buddha even said that we have nothing else to be thankful of. The very fact that I didn't die today and I'm living and I'm alive is enough reason for you to be thankful to life. So, okay. So now next question is, okay, so we've understood that it's very important. There is a impact on the brain. It leads us to happy life. Understood. So now who all we should be grateful to. Now here comes the roles of an educator, where now we are going to start imbibing into our curriculum. So we start with being appreciative of and being grateful to self first. Very important. How many of us sitting here today have a lot of self-doubt, or we feel that I'm not good enough, or I don't look very confident, or my looks are not that great, I cannot groom very well, or my etiquette and mannerism is not something that most people would acknowledge and appreciate. Can you just put a Y and N in the chat box?
I just saw a lot of
4:21 p.m.
Veenu ma'am.
It's 4:21 p.m.
So,
I request everybody to please keep themselves on mute.
Please keep yourself on mute and put something on the chat. Just Y and N.
Neena ma'am, if you can just unmute yourself once. So we've received a response only from Veenu ma'am.
So I know it is very hard because
Yes.
अपने को आईने में देखना बहुत मुश्किल है. Let me tell you about myself. When I was a child in my school, one of my maths teachers, I would keep looking at, like we are all different people, observe different things. As a child, I would observe every per teacher's or every friend's hands, feet. So this particular teacher, her feet, she didn't have the thumbnails. And I used to wonder, ऐसे कैसे sandals पहनती हैं, उनके thumbnails तो ऐसे नहीं है. Look at my feet, they're so nice. I have the long, long thumbnails, etc., etc. As I grew up in hostel, I had a bad injury on both my feet and I lost my toenails. Okay. And it constantly put me back in the memory, flashed back to my school days where I thought of this teacher. I said, now for life, I'm going to have my thumbnails, which will never grow. I used to be so conscious. And I'm not talking of as a child, as a youth, as an adult. I'm 62, going to be 62. It's only very recently, maybe in the last 5-7 years, that I said, I don't care. People don't like my feet, let them not like. I'm going to wear what I want to wear. Right? So this is how it happens. So it doesn't only for children. And that is why it is so very important that we start imbibing it right in the childhood, so that as they grow up, they don't grow up with all. I'm also a life coach. I meet so many people across age groups, across gender, across cultures. Human beings are the same across cultures, across gender, across age. They feel the same. They have the same issues, no matter where they come from. And they may be in best of the positions, but you don't know what's the inside story. So self is extremely important. Then people. Who are the people? My family. The first set of people is my parents. 90% of my clients had issues with their parents. And I could see that coming from their early years. So if we have nobody earlier used to, they would say, "Pair chuo." But mami ko respect karna hai, or be obedient. It was very instructional. We didn't grow up as a way of life. That is very important. So that is where our role as educators are. Now, we don't have a control on children's homes. Everybody comes from different circumstances, but we have a very harmonious and a very similar environment we are giving to every child, no matter wherever they are coming from. So it is the similarity that they have in the class environment is where you can touch upon all this, because there they will take the message in the same way across. Then the things that they have. How many of us have come across parents saying that, ma'am, my child is not happy, मैं तो उसके लिए भी कर दिया, वो भी कर दिया, बच्चे तो खुश ही नहीं होते हैं. Very common these days. Places, I don't want to go there, I don't want like this, I don't want that, this place is not good. As adults also, I don't want to go there, that is very boring. Okay. And finally, nature. I don't want to talk about nature. I've already talked enough in my last session. I mean, last to last session. Okay. So, well said. These are the things we need to, people and places, selves that we need to, but how do we go about it? So, let's go about it. So, let's start with self. Now, if we look at our GA books, whether it is by Madhuban or any other publishing house, whatever you're using, I had the opportunity to look at Madhuban books, and I'm very happy that as I was proceeding with this presentation, I felt that everything that I'm covering today is actually covered in the general awareness book, and it is also following the spiral learning method. Now, appreciation and gratitude for self. Now, we are all teaching children body parts. And how are we teaching them the body parts? This is my ear, my eye. Someone will do with the rhyme, someone will do with the story. So that's my little grandson who's here. So what do we say? Have we ever introduced our body parts saying, I love my eyes, I love my ears, I love my legs, and so on and so forth? If we haven't, I would request you to please encourage kids to express themselves. Now, this is going to be a common line. Just give me a second. common line between across my presentation today, because expression is very important. What we are focusing on, these are my eyes, these are my ears, these are my hands, my feet, is just knowledge. It's just awareness. We are not allowing children to feel their ears and to like their ears and to love their body. So first and foremost, when we are doing self, is to enable and encourage children to love their whole body. Starting, even if it may be my eyes, my ears, my internal organs, anything, my hair. Just yeah, baby. Acha, okay. Nani is busy right now. Can I talk to you a little later? Okay, thank you. Okay, so we move on to the next appreciation and for self, but now I'm giving you one activity. Now, mirror activity is something that I found is very, very effective. We all, next level, once we've introduced them to the body part, what do we say? What is the function of the body part? So we talk about, I can see with my eyes, I can walk with my legs, etc., etc. Now, when we do this mirror activity and we allow children to look at their self into the mirror, now it may sound a very simple activity. Let me tell you, if I ask all of you to look into the mirror and do the mirror activity, you will all have problems. So many of my clients have said, "Ma'am, mirror activity mat de." I find it very hard to look into the mirror because there's something about me I don't like. Right? So let's really help our children look into the mirror, build that confidence first about themselves. Then thank you to all my body parts. You know, this was one great what do you call gratitude exercise that we did when I was doing my coaching certification. So they made us look at every part of our body and say, thank you, my thumb, for helping me hold my crayon, hold my brush. Thank you, my eyes, that I'm not just able to see, I can see the beauty of the world. Now, as an educator, if you're doing all this, you see the whole shift in what you are. It just doesn't become a body exercise. You are actually imbibing in them so much self-respect, so much of love for their own self. We cannot love, respect others if we don't start it with self. Now, as educators and as parents, I always say that please praise, 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 praise for everything the children do, starting from simple to complex activities. Now, I've just listed here, I'm not going to be reading the slide. Many a time we are focusing on things that children are not able to do. I would like and request you to shift your focus onto things that children actually are able to do. During your discussion, during your circle time, during your conversation, when you're doing the concept of, there's also this whole concept. A lot of books have all that I can do or I love to do, right? So these are some of the things that children can do. So you'll have images in your general awareness book. So let them, you praise them. One thing is that they're just ticking it. कि हाँ मैं ये कर सकता हूँ, मैं नहीं कर सकता हूँ, मुझे अच्छा लगता है, मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगता. But to praise them, oh my God, my kids can do everything. Let's clap for each other. Let's pat our back. Wow, good job done. How many times have we done that? Our whole focus is, तुमने हाथ नहीं धोए? Very bad. But वो 10 चीजें और कर रहा है ना, उसके लिए तो praise कर दो. So praise them when they look nice. Praise them the day they have cut their hair. That means you are connected to them. The child feels that my teacher is observing me. My teacher is connected with me. Okay. Next comes the family. Now, again, the same thing, but there are a few activities that I would, or pointers that I would want the educators to think of. So when we say, I always say, when you're talking of family, title it, I love my family. Let this word of love, that expression must be very, very, the children should be able to articulate that very clearly. The more we say, the more we speak, it will come into our actions. So it is building, it's embedding in our thoughts, and then we are speaking the same thing. So our karma is made by thoughts, words, and deeds. Right? So let us actually, as educators, help our children make a good guide. So what all can we do? Okay? We can sensitize children about what all a family does for us. What is it that your parents do? So much they do for us. So let children share. What is your mommy doing? What your daddy doing? If there are gender differences, my mommy makes only parantha, daddy goes to the office. Bring some reversals into it. Look, ma'am has made parantha also, ma'am has come to school also. Encourage thanks in action. Now, when you time, we say, okay, say thank you to daddy, thank you to mommy. Full stop. But thanks in action is very important. Now, what is thanks in action? Encourage them that they should help and support and care for their families. If we are not helping, we are not supporting, we're not caring, we really don't mean. So when we say love, love must be defined, must be elaborated. Wishing and greeting them. Simplest thing. How many of us morning, evening are greeting and wishing each other at the family level? Listening to them. How much are we paying attention to what others are saying to us? Now, these small things, if we can set in motion right in the early years, I'm telling you, you're setting a great foundation for children. Then making thank you notes. The children can't write, even if a simple thumbprint, a little stroke of the crayon, and they'd say, Mummy ke liye hai banaya aaj. Mummy feels so happy. What are you doing? You're helping the child to connect, and we wait for the Mother's Day to only do that activity and make fancy crafts. But essence भूल जाते. तो अगर उस बच्चे ने रोज एक छोटा सा, उसको 1 मिनट ही तो लगेगा. Okay, you make something and take it for your family today, right? बच्चों ने काम खत्म कर लिया क्लास का, 1 मिनट बचा, you are busy doing some work, you tell children, okay, I'm giving you small slips and notes. Now this is one thing I've seen abroad. Teachers they have a lot of such resources very handy. They keep small sticky notes, small, not sticky notes, आप A4 draft sheets को काट पीट के छोटे रख सकते हो. Let children make those छोटे slips and maybe 1/8 of an A4 size and take it home. They can take it every single day. Now imagine if they've done it for one class also. They'll never forget in their life. They'll always remember, I have to write a letter to my mom. I have to send her a message when I'm out. This is how we imbibe in them those things. And finally, we also encourage them that when we love our family, when we care for them, and we are grateful, then we don't fight with them. We don't have to always say grateful. We don't have to say appreciate. They may not even understand these words, but the essence is something that's very important. So as educators, we can even create a class chart. I mean, I don't have so much of time here, but class chart may you can just recollect that we are having for the self, for family, for others. Once we close it, this presentation, you can create a little chart. What is it that kids do today? Right? So they can just go they all learn the letters, that they can put yes and no. This is something I did. It will again take only 3-4 minutes, but it is a constant reminder and monitoring that children are remembering. We take tests. तुमको body parts आते हैं कि नहीं आते? But मुझे अपने body parts अच्छे लगते हैं. Am I grateful to my body parts? उसके बारे में तो हमने कभी assessment करी नहीं. And circle time activities and discussions are very, very important. Right? Now, why are these important? Class chart or circle time activity helps us, or as educators, help us that how kids can develop appreciation and gratitude. So when we are discussing, when we are deliberating, we are allowing children to express their thoughts, what they feel, what are they seeing in their houses. You will be able to know the circumstances from which children are coming. You'll be able to better connect with your children. And what do kids do on a regular basis back in their families? How much are there fights happening? So these small little circle time, these activities will give you a lot of insight into your children's lives. Next is the teacher. So when I said families also include extended families like your grandparents, maybe some uncle aunts, as we go along from nursery to lower KG and upper KG and class 1 and 2, you can have progressive learning. Now, teacher is another. As educators, हमको teachers का सिर्फ Teachers Day याद रहता है. By the way, happy Teachers Day in advance to all of you. So, when we're talking of how have you ever made children say that I love you can say I love my teacher. Today also I love my teacher. My teacher is now grown old, but I still love her. And my teacher is my good friend because she's my guide. She helps me. Help them to see that what all as a teacher you're doing. Now, there are very small, simple activities which we did and which did wonders, in bonding with and especially in the earlier, especially nursery and lower KG, when children are just entered the big school environment and teacher is the only first stranger that they're coming to. So these activities help them bond with their teacher very well. और अगर उन्होंने पहले 3-4 साल टीचर के साथ एक खूबसूरत सा रिश्ता बना लिया ना, तो आने वाले समय में तो don't ask. They'll always and always love their teacher. They'll not be critical of their teacher. Okay, so what are the kind of activities? We can draw their teacher and write I love. Right. Now, don't worry if a nursery teacher, she can't draw. They'll still make a 9. Uski imagination hai. There was one in my grandson only. I was looking at his nursery book. उसकी नर्सरी बुक में ना सिर्फ क्रेयॉन से लाइनें लगी हुई हैं और टीचर ने छोटा सा नोट लिखा है. He says, my favorite bird is crow because crow comes to my house every day. अब ये बच्चे ने बोला, टीचर ने लिखा, लेकिन बच्चे ने तो सिर्फ ब्लैक कलर से कलर करा, उसको क्रो नहीं ड्रॉ करना आता. But what is it you're giving them is they are imagining the teacher, but they're drawing whatever they're drawing. It is not about the drawing. It is about as they grow into lower KG, upper KG classroom, they will be able to draw. But just let them express it using their hand and say, I love. Hold your teacher's hand and say, thank you. So we can do these small little exercises in the class. Let children hug the teacher and say, express, thank you, ma'am, I love you. Bow to the teacher and say thank you. Touch the teacher's feet. This is our Indian tradition. And say dhanyavad or whatever in vernacular, you in that particular language you say. And during the circle time, talk with kids that when we love our teacher, we listen to them. Right? Now we've already bonded with our teacher. And let me tell you, the motto of my center, Anubhav, is learning with love. Because it felt, सबसे पहले तो bonding बनाना है, उसके बाद learning. उसके बाद जब आप कुछ भी कराते हो ना, children are glued to you. You don't have to get their attention. They will always be attentive. Try this out. Then when we love our teacher, we listen to them. We greet them. We share our feelings with them. How much we go on talking about socio-emotional development, and children must express their feelings. सारे emojis बना देंगे. अरे emoji बनाओ कि नहीं बनाओ, वो feel कर रहा है, उसका heart तो उसके अंदर pump in कर रहा है ना. To give them those experiences of feeling, rather than just coloring those blank emojis and expecting children to understand emotion. They have to express, they have to feel those emotions and relate with those emotions in the real life, not only on paper. And we share our feelings with them and we smile. So when we continuously do this on an everyday basis, it doesn't take time. It's a way of our dealing with and taking up our classes. What we are happy with them. The teacher is happy, the child is happy, and we have a wonderful environment. Okay, let's move to the next. Okay, now I'm going to do, yeah. So the next one is, so first I talked about self, then we came to family, then we came to people. In people, we talked of family, we talked of teacher, because these are the two most important in a child's life. Let's move to some people who are there in the child's environment on a daily basis. Every day they are seeing something. Now we have the concept of community helper. There will be quite a few sheets. They will all be talking, this so and so is a nurse, a firefighter hai, ye police personnel hai, ye driver hai, ye garbage collector hai. Fine. Again, we are focusing only on knowledge. Have we said, have you seen any of these? Go out into and observe. Who all do you see? Let them come out and say before you even start your topic of the community helpers. They must have observed. Okay, so if they haven't, they will go back and observe. But if we only give them those 5 pictures that are in the book and we don't go beyond, then we are doing a not doing justice to our education. Help them to that, okay, did you ever greet them? आपने कभी उनको नमस्ते बोला, hello बोला, good morning बोला? कोई तो बोलता नहीं ना. आपका भाजी वाला आता है, कभी बोला है hello, namaste? The guy who comes to collect the garbage, have you ever said namaste to him or her? No. But please do that. Once we do this, our society is going to be peaceful and harmonious and respectful. There'll be mutual respect. Let's help them to thank them every time that they meet. So if children say that, okay, jisko bhi main milunga, mere didi hai, my house help is there, somebody is coming to give me bhaji, I go to the doctor, I have to smile at them, I have to thank them, I have to greet them, and I have to also observe what they are doing and how they are doing and how difficult their job is and how much they are supporting us. Then we are really doing the whole topic of the people. And again, you can do, we used to do these little thank you cards. Chote card, and used to tell kids, unko home assignment game milta tha. Go home, make 10 cards, right? And 10 cards. So you give one to your helper, one to the guard in the colony, one to the bhajiwala, one to a shopkeeper from where you bring the milk, one to your school guard, one to your school didi, teacher. When you go to a doctor, so these are some of the people they see every single day. They even have gone up to the traffic police guy and sometimes given them lassi. We did those drives as part of our Anubhav Learning Center. Right? So this is gratitude in action. It's not just merely doing a lip service of saying thank you. Now, share with kids that when we praise others and continuously thank them for their help, now what happens? People work better. They become happy. They like it. And they become our good friends too. So now when you do it for children, as you model it in the class, they will also work better. Children will also become happy. Children will also like it, and you will have a wonderful lifelong bond with them. Just a sec. Something happens to the... Okay. So till now, we looked at people who are in my immediate environment or who are at least visible. But we can also move on to people who are unseen. They are not visible to us in our daily life, right? So I'm going to do a quick visualizing with all of you. So I request all of you to close your eyes. And let's say, if you're doing it with children, I'm now imagining that you're all children. So let's do a little role. And children are going to close their eyes, and they all love biscuits. So they'll all love, let's say, biscuits or chips, whatever. So I've got chips. I've gone to go say thank you to chips. Okay. So close your eyes and say thank you to chips. Who got me the chips? Thank you to that person. So maybe mommy or daddy. Fine. Somebody opened the packet for you. Maybe ma'am or didi in the class. Say thank you to her. Now children have closed their eyes and they're only imagining. They're not really doing it. They're thinking, they're visualizing. Okay, let's go a little behind and say, from where did we buy? There was a shopkeeper who kept these chips in the shop. Let's say thank you to the shopkeeper. How did the chips packet reach the shop? Oh, some auto wala or some truck gaya would have got this to the shop and delivered it to the shop. Okay, so let's say thank you to the transporter who brought these chips to the shop. So thank you, transporter, for getting these chips. Where did the transporter get the chips from? Oh, so the chips were made in a factory. So let's get back to the factory. There were so many people working in the factory and they made chips. Someone worked on the machine, someone packed it, put it on the trolley. Let's say thank you to all the people who were involved in making these chips and packing it up. But chips are made of potatoes. So where did this factory get the potatoes from? From the farmer. So who grew the potatoes? The farmer grew the potatoes. Okay. So let's go to the farmer. All the farmers you grew potatoes and send it to the factory to make these chips. And then these chips were picked up by a transporter, and the transporter brought it to the shop. And from the shop, my mommy daddy bought it, brought it home. And then I brought these chips to school. And my ma'am helped me open the chips packet and enjoyed. And the chips were yummy. I'm going to say thank you to all the people who were involved in getting these chips to me. So this is how we do these unforeseen, unseen or invisible people supporting our life. And if you think it is going to be very difficult, children will not relate with it, try it out. We tried it out, not tried it out. For us, it was a pretty much a regular activity. Okay. So with this, we finish with the people. Now let's move to places. Now, what are the kind of places that children go to? So in your general awareness book, you will again be talking of places, which usually comes along with the community helpers. So you will have religious places in school. A lot of children will have a little difficulty coming to school or going to a clinic or a hospital, bank, police station. They would be fearful of fire station and a lot of heritage sites, Every city town would have some interesting place, maybe a lake or maybe an ancient historical building. Whenever we are taking children there in the classroom, when we are showing to them as a concept, tell them, talk good about these places. It's not merely enough to say, I school. So say, I love my school. Fire station, oh, they really help us to put off the fire. Police helps us to keep our place safe. When we're talking of them, we are actually talking so good of them that we should never fear the police. If there is any problem, we can go to the police station. They are all our friends. So places के साथ भी उनका connection बना. When we take them for an outing, it's not just a picnic. उन्होंने जगह देखी, वहाँ chips खाए, फ्रूटी पिया, आ गए. उन्होंने उसको minutely observe किया. उन्होंने उसको appreciate किया कि नहीं. Oh wow, the big school. Oh wow, look at this beautiful hospital. Wow, such a wonderful doctor. Look, the bank keeps us money safe. Let's take out our money. Every child today knows of the ATM. Because that is, they don't know bank, but they would definitely know the ATM. Okay. What's happening? Some problem. Okay, after places, let's move to nature. Again, this is another one concept. We'll be doing the concepts of animals, plants, trees, insects. And as we move on to the upper KG, we'll be talking of the terrains, the spaces like the mountain, the rivers, the sea, the ocean, the desert. So let us also help children not only know, I'm going on reinforcing that, but connect to all them. And how many of us have actually seen moon every evening, every night? By the way, आज moon का shape कैसा है? Anybody? Anybody? What's the shape of the moon today?
Today it was, I think, the second almost round.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. So last night it was almost round. I think we're just heading for a full moon. Fine. Thank you. So it is so very important to stay connected. When we are staying connected, we are appreciating the moon, we are appreciating the sun, we are appreciating the river, we are appreciating the beauty of the butterfly, appreciating the bird. We feel happy with our environment. What are we talking? Shit, itni garmi hai, yaar. Look at the sun. Oh my God, insects. Hit lao, maro. Oh my God, पेड़ है ना, मच्छर हो जाते. ओ माय गॉड रेन आ गई ना, बाहर नहीं निकल सकते, कितना कीचड़ हो गया। व्हाट आर वी कनेक्टिंग आवर चिल्ड्रन टू? और किताब में वो पढ़ रहे हैं, देखो भाई ये रेन है, लुक एट दिस रेन, रेन रेन गो अवे कम अगेन अनदर डे। एक तो मुझे वो राइम भी अच्छी नहीं लगती। व्हाई शुड इट कम इन, इट शुड कम राइट अवे। ओके, चिल्ड्रन कैन स्टिल प्ले इन द रेन। ओके, तो हमको कनेक्शन बनाना है, हमको उनको अप्रिशिएट करना सिखाना है। So I never say that stop with the giraffe and the lion and the tiger. I say go real deeper into there. And how do you appreciate? Giraffe has stripes. So which are the animals who have stripes? So children go deeper into those animals' life. Which is an animal with the long neck, spots, fur. So you begin to appreciate, my God, bear must be so nice and soft. It's so furry. And elephant must never be feeling hot because it has those fan-like ears, they go up and down. Usko kabhi garmi nahi lagti hogi. So can you imagine how much children will begin to appreciate each and every part of nature around them? And this is what building creativity with them. And allow them to express their fears also. They might say, मैम जब रात होती है ना तो मुझे बहुत डर लगता है. It's okay, relax. Let them express it. But they will express it only when we are talking to them. But yeah, there's something wrong with it. Okay. Last, appreciation and gratitude for things. Now, as I just said in the beginning that, these days children are super fussy. There's no value for food. Even, I apologize to all those who may feel bad, but we tell them नहीं खत्म हुआ ट्रैश में डाल दो खाना. और हमारे अनुभव लर्निंग सेंटर में बहुत जबरदस्त वैल्यू था फूड की. पहले तो उतना ही पोर्शन लो जितना आपको खाना है. No two children can eat the same quantity of. Third, that we value everything that's around us. So even when we would do the concept of fruits and vegetables, we would really help them appreciate, oh my God, look at this so beautiful red tomato. And it looks nice sitting next to the nice and green, shiny cucumber and those lettuce leaves. तो क्या होता है, बच्चे इमेजिन करने लगते. तो हमको थोड़ा सा ना ड्रामा भी करना अर्ली चाइल्डहुड में. जब तक हम वो ड्रामेटाइज नहीं करेंगे ना, उसको मजा नहीं आएगा. और एप्रिसिएशन हमको थोड़ा ड्रामेटाइज करके, वाओ यू लुकिंग सो नाइस टुडे, the person feels good. Somebody tells you that, wow, you're wearing a beautiful sari, you feel good, right? Have you ever felt bad when someone appreciates us or say thank you or does something for us out of the way? Never. So let's help children do that. So आपको कुछ भी अलग नहीं करना है. फूड का कॉन्सेप्ट आया तो उसके लिए उनको सिर्फ ये नहीं बोलना है डोंट ईट जंक फूड, ईट हेल्दी फूड. बड़ा इंस्ट्रक्शनल है. All do we eat? You know what the roti must be thinking today? He didn't eat me, he didn't eat my paranta. Roti would go sad. One of the kids asked me, ma'am, how can roti be sad? Roti has no eyes. Roti can't see me. I said, roti can feel. So when we talk like this to children, they begin to connect with whatever is there alongside. And I remember one kid telling another, "Yeah, don't waste. Your rice is feeling sad." Because they imitate. They learn by actually role play. Toys, they all love them. We have to help them to value whatever they have. Now, every childhood, if you don't have a school bag, would bring different bags. और हर बच्चे की नजर ना दूसरी की चीजों पे होती है. तो दे विल से मामी मुझे ना उसके जैसा वाला बैग चाहिए, उसकी बैग उसके क्रेयॉन ज्यादा अच्छे हैं मेरे. तो हेल्प देम टू वन डे, स्कूल बैग है ना, सबके स्कूल टिफिन अलग है, तो टेल देम ओके, oh my God, every child bag is so wonderful, so beautiful. Let's say thank you to the bags which help us to carry all the stuff. कभी बोला नहीं बोला. बुक्स बच्चे फाड़ देते हैं, तब हम उसको गुस्सा करते हैं, hey don't tear it. Books, but if you tell them, let them tear it and say, now book is also sad, we heard them. The book is also will cry now. It's not looking good. Someone takes away a finger will be like this, will not like it. Similarly to anything that children like, whatever you're doing in the class as a concept, just invite and see how you can bring in appreciation and gratitude. And why I'm just picked up these items, because this is something that children can relate with. So let's just go small, simple, and start with something that they already are familiar. I'm going to leave you with a few activities over and above that I've just shared with you. So these are the gratitude actions, or living gratitude and appreciation on a daily basis. So we could do an activity of gratitude tree. So we could do a tree, and on every leaf or a flower, we could just write thankful to whom and for what. So let them say anything. And every day they can just do this exercise. Small thing. You don't even have to write it. So the teacher can write it. Children are small. They can't write. They can draw. They can just draw and go and put it up. Pin it up. This exercise doesn't take more than 5 minutes. Trust me. But it has a lifelong impact. They are engaged in doing it. They're experiencing it. They're internalizing it. And they are being reminded of it on a daily basis when you do it. Each day, ask your children to share or think of 3 things that they're grateful for. Anybody. Now, they've been grateful to their people, they've been grateful to places, they've been grateful to things. Maybe somebody will come and say, milk. I had milk. Milk is going to make me strong, ma'am. Thank you to the milk. Somebody will come and say, thank you to the water, ma'am. आज water बहुत अच्छा था, मैंने shower से नहाया. So can you imagine the small, everything that we have taken so much for granted, we start becoming grateful to. Then making gratitude cards, I've already spoken about it. And gratitude cards, please, dear educators, don't have to spend too much of time in doing fancy things. It doesn't make a difference. It has no shelf life. Go simple, go small. Let children even draw one standing line, sleeping line, and imagine this is my mother or father, or this is my friend, or this is a thank you to my helper. Please stay put with that. And praise them, encourage them, say wonderful, beautiful. Important thing is allowing them to express, allowing them to relate with it, allowing them to connect with it. Now, gratitude letters. You know, we all do the literacy mein, work mein, letters A to Z. So let them think of, when you're doing A, we always show them some objects. A says apple, alligator, aeroplane, and etc. So can we say, so what are the things with A that we can be thankful of? And what are the things with B that we say thank you to? Thank you to my ball, I play with it. So are we doing anything extra? Nothing. We're just flowing with the flow of our curriculum, but we are just shifting our approach very consciously. Gratitude stories. I've just given you one example of the secret of saying thanks. But the gratitude stories, you can create any. हमारे पंचतंत्र में भी है. आप अपनी स्टोरी बना लीजिए, impromptu बना लीजिए. But share stories have lot of impact. Gratitude jar, you know, you can have a small little basket or small little dabba. So children just say, today I'm thankful to. So these are different ways you can do gratitude. And every day they come and put one slip into that. And once in a month, the teacher open the box. And then they say, I saw this activity being done in one of the schools in the US. And gratitude charts, I already spoke about it. Okay, so God, this is something wrong. So just to close the beautiful concept of appreciation and gratitude, remember that's something that Dr. Daisak Vikeda, who is my mentor, peace builder, Buddhist philosopher, educator, author, and poet, always says those who always have a sense of appreciation and gratitude never reach an impasse in life, right? So if we are living our life, living appreciation and gratitude, moment to moment, every single day, all days of our year and our life, we'll never be at an impasse. We'll always be moving forward, and we'll never have any regrets in life. So thank you very much. And I hope you like this session. If you didn't, I'm sorry. If you did, follow me. Thank you very much. Love you all. And thank you.
Thank you so much, Hina. It was a lovely, lovely session. And I can see comments and all the wonderful remarks that in the chat box also. And I'm sure all the teachers were so engrossed that it was a lovely session. And not only as teachers, I'm sure even as human beings, this session today has helped all of us to understand and given us food for thought, even for our own personal development. Am I right, teachers? That was a lovely, lovely session and a lot to learn. Even we forget to appreciate and express gratitude. Yes, yes, a lot of yeses. So people do agree with me, ma'am. So there are some sessions where, a lot of times when being teachers, we forget to be humans at times. I mean, I'm not saying anybody's a bad human being or anything, but we just forget how to appreciate and be grateful for what we have. And I'm sure this session has helped all the educators in the same line. And looking forward to a lot of more sessions like this from you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Educators, if anybody has any questions. Okay, ma'am, I see only feedback, no questions.
That's what I'm saying. How can we have any questions if we are thankful? So anyway, thank you, and all the lovely educators doing a fantastic work, and take pride in whatever you do, because it is the noblest profession that we are all engaged in, at whatever level and in whichever city and town, whichever school we are working. There is no school which is big and small. There are no children who are good or bad, right? So we are all humans at the end of the day, and we are all there to impact, not influence. So let's leave, do such a work कि हम कुछ footprints छोड़ के जाए. तो मुझे शब्द footprints ना बहुत अच्छा लगता है. तो कुछ ऐसा करके जाओ कि हमेशा के लिए आपको कुछ लोग याद रखें. तो बस वही करना है. आसपास में देख लो, किसी के बाल सुंदर हैं, किसी के कुर्ता अच्छा है, बोल डालो. हमको एक्सप्रेस करना सिखाया ही नहीं है.
नीना मैम, एक और बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग चीज है. आई थिंक सम ऑफ द एजुकेटर्स विल एग्री विद मी. एक्सप्रेस करना नहीं सिखाया, अगर कोई हमारी तारीफ कर दे तो हमें उसको एक्सेप्ट करना भी नहीं सिखाया.
Yes, thank you very much. I was about to say, we don't even receive it. We'll say, oh, no, really?
I do that till date. I don't know how to respond when people appreciate me. I'm so lost. I'm like, अच्छा, I am good? Okay.
So we feel embarrassed.
हाँ, कि अच्छा, मतलब इन्होंने ऐसा बोला. Yeah, see, a lot of teachers agree with me.
So give and receive. So as much as you give, you will receive it also. And when you receive it, take it very, very well. A lot of parents used to come and say, ma'am, my children are coming and compelling us to, "Ye aap sari pehen ke aao, mama. You never wear a sari. Look at Nina, ma'am. She's always wearing a sari and she has matching jewelry also." I said, my God, 3 साल का बच्चा ये भी notice करता है, right? So it is so beautiful, because I have a habit of changing my earrings every single day. And kids would come and say, ma'am, the one that you were wearing yesterday was better than what you're wearing today. So वो bond होता है. So that's the kind of bond. Anyway, but the important thing that I just want to leave you here with, that it is not difficult. When you practice it, it will come naturally to you in your curriculum. जो भी आप पढ़ाओगे उसको knowledge तक मत रखो. उसको बच्चों को relate कराओ, उसको feel कराओ, फिर वो उसको concept जिंदगी में कभी नहीं भूलेंगे. चाहे वो community helper है, और सारे assessment करने की भी जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी आपको.
Very true. We don't have to do written assessments. They're little small behaviors. And that is what NEP is also telling us to do. They're saying observe the children. Teach them and then observe them. They'll be fine.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, teachers. Thank you so much for joining in. Looking forward to connect with everybody in the next session. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Mani. Thank you, Madhuban Books. Bye-bye to all of you. Lovely weekend.
Thank you, ma'am.